بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا وحبيب قلوبنا أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. وهذا الكتاب يعتمد على 4 أركان. This book has 4 foundations or 4 main chapters. The book of purity. Number 1, Al-Miyah. We going to discuss different type of waters. Number 2, At-Taharatul Ma'iyyah. Taharatul Ma'iyyah means that the wudu and the ghusl, when we cleanse ourselves through 2 things. Through wudu, no, this is not in the book. I'm just saying, explaining. So this book of Tahara has 4 chapters. Chapter number 1, soon we're going to discuss different types of water. Number 2, Tahara al-Ma'iyyah, the liquid, if you will, the liquid cleansing. Number 3, At-Tahara al-Turabiyya, the dirt cleansing, which is tayammum. Number 4, what are the najasa? What is najasa and what is the effect of the najasa? Is it transferable or non-transferable? And how much it is transferable? Let's say someone, the desk is najis. Someone puts his hand. Okay, the hand becomes najis. Then from his hand, he touched the handle. Does the handle become najis or not? And so on and so forth. We will study this. الركن الأول, now we are in the first chapter. الركن الأول في المياه. وفيه أطراف. الطرف الأول في الماء المطلق. The first type of water we study is the pure water. What is pure water? وهو كل ما يستحق إطلاق اسم الماء عليه من غير إضافة وكله طاهر. Every type of water that is not mixed with any other substance. إضافة, like what? Can you give me an example of that?
Alcohol.
We say this is ma. No, this is tahir. Ma. And you can also do tathir with it. If your hand is najis, you can wash your hand twice, 3 times, depending on what is on your hand. But if juice is mixed with it, either orange juice, tomato juice, lemon, citrus, whatever, then it becomes mudaf. Then it falls from that level of purification. It could be pure, you drink it, but you cannot wash something else with it.
Isn't the quantity of it that makes it?
Number 1, quality. We speak about the quality, then we go to the quantity. So number 1, the quality has to be pure water. Okay?
Say that if it has alcohol in it, that's not okay either?
How much alcohol? They will come and tell. If alcohol is really affecting it, then it drops it from being mutahhir. It depends. If it dissolves, and urf says, listen, it's dissolving. It's not overcoming it. It's not leaving any trace dissolved there. Then, yes, it would retain its purity. وَكُلُّهُ طَاهِرٌ. The water is مُزِيلٌ لِلْحَدَثِ وَالْخَبَثِ. What is the meaning of hadath, my friends?
Something that can break.
Hadath is a judiciary najasa, meaning it's a spiritual type of najasa. Like what? Can you give me an example? Janaba. Janaba is spiritual najasa. This is why you have to take a shower. This is called hadath. Hadath. And what else? Hayd also. Hayd is also hadath. And what else? When someone uses the bathroom or passes gas it's also, he breaks his wudu. He has to do wudu for the prayers or for reading the Quran. This is hadath. What is khabath? Impurity. What does khabath mean? Khabath is like blood. It's like urine. It's like wine. Okay? These are khabath. This is the difference between hadath and khabath. So the water removes both the hadath and the khabath. The other difference between hadath and khabath, to remove the khabath you do not need to do niyyah, but to remove the hadath you need to do niyyah. If there is urine on your hand and you are washing it, you don't have to say qurbat, I am washing my hand, qurbat Allah ta'ala. If there is blood on your hand, you don't have. But janaba, you need. Hayd, you need. You need. Wudu, you need.
So if there's blood on your hand, and you did the you did the prayer, then you had blood on your hand, you just wash and go do the asr after?
Yes. You don't have to do wudu.
They
Just
used
you.
to say like a certain amount of blood came, then you have to do... I used to
Is
hear that.
exempted. Special amount of a blood, we will come to it. Special is a specific size and below are exempted from the dress. Okay? But above that, you have to repeat the prayers. If you notice it, if you're sure that this happened during the prayers, but if you finished your prayers, and you are about to walk away, you saw blood. And you don't know. Sometimes you know, no, I'm sure that it happened during the prayers. This is ilm. But if you don't know, then you walk away because you have completed your prayers. Okay? وباعتبار وقوع النجاسة فيه ينقسم إلى جار ومحقون وماء بئر. Now we have three types of water. One is jarin, the running water. Like the water in where? River, streams. Even when the rain comes and the water, the drainage or whatever is running in the streets. That is called running water.
Or sink.
Sink?
Is that running water? If you turn on a sink.
Faucet.
Yes, faucet, yes, yes, yeah, that is, yeah. But they didn't have these things before, so they don't give example of the sink. And 700 years ago, they didn't have a sink. وَمَحْقُونَ is retained. What is the example of a retained water? Pond, exactly. Pool, swimming pool, non-swimming pool, okay? And the tank also. When you have, they used to put the water for even now, they put it in a tank and then they use it. Most of the homes, they have a tank up there. They fill it. And the third one is the well. أما الجاري, let's speak about the first type of water, which is the running one. فلا ينجس إلا باستيلاء النجاسة على أحد أوصافه. It cannot be contaminated or become impure unless three things happens to it. And these things: taste, color, smell. If these three things, they change, so it has a specific taste or a specific color or a specific what? I said color, I said taste, and smell, then it becomes najis. Or it cannot purify anymore. It cannot purify. How do we let's say there is a stream next to your house, stream, small one. The water is coming down off the mountain. And the color of the water changes. They put something in it, whatever. So the color changes. That type of water cannot purify. Or smells. Some smell. So that is not absolute water or pure water anymore. Or smell or taste different than being a water. It cannot. Is there a solution for it? Yes. A solution is to open another canal, let's say, connected to another canal where flowing water comes to through the same stream, okay, out in an outpouring manner. Then at that time that water becomes clean. Okay? حتى يزول تغيره. So these three changes, or one of them, when it is removed and goes back to its original state, then it becomes طاهر. ويلحق بحكمه ماء الحمام إن كان له مادة. Now, you sit in a bathroom. Many countries, they have a hose. In the bathroom, they have hose. You know, in China, they have, in Japan, in Korea, in Asia, they have hose. In America, they don't have. In these countries, they have. Islamic countries, they all have hose. In Turkey, they have. If you are opening, let's say you are sitting in an Eastern type of toilet, where it has a floor, not the Western one, when we have a seat. And if the water is jari, running, then whatever splashes on you becomes what? طاهر.
Oh, because it's running water.
Because the water is running. But if it is not connected to the running water, you are using the bottle or the container, and at that time splashes on you, it becomes what? Najis.
I mean, how about if it's not dirty, the container?
Not dirty, but when splashes at the floor.
Oh, splashes on the floor. Okay.
This is why put hose in your bathrooms, to get rid of this. ولو مازجه طاهر فغيره أو تغير من قبل نفسه. Now, if, if that water which was that water, let's say this one, they put some salt on it, inside it. Salt is طاهر, okay? Salt is or sugar, let's say sugar or salt in it. In that case, if the salt or the sugar does not overcome it, then still we consider it as what? طاهر. But if the water becomes salty, you can tell. Either the color of it changes, or when you taste, salty. Okay? أو تغير من قبل نفسه, or the water without putting anything in it, it develops algae. Let's say swimming pool has algae. Or not. This is speaking about the jari. In the water, while it's running, there is algae there. Okay? لم يخرج عن كونه مطهرا. Still, that water, though there is algae in it, though they put some salt with it, still that water is what? مطهر, purifying.
Say that question, sorry. So
As long as we still call it water. As long as we still call it water, even if it is mixed with salt, or itself changes, becomes yellowish because of algae, still it is mutahhir, purifying. You can use it to purify things. Yes, Dr. Ali.
just what we were talking about, the flowing water, if any of the characteristics change, like color, taste, smell, that's something najis we know for sure that causes that, or anything that causes that?
Anything, not necessarily najis. Anything. They
Like
put
salt.
a powder, let's say, a powder.
So salt can change the taste.
Yeah, but still can change the taste. Not to huge quantities. If they put smaller quantity in it.
Okay.
And it still can change the taste. But like the sea water, ocean, it's not, is it a pure? Salty. You can feel it.
Right.
But still you can use it to make tathir, to purify. Okay? as long as you are still calling it water. But if Orf says, listen, this is not water anymore,
Right.
you don't call it water. In that case, it ceases.
I just wasn't sure, because if you fresh water to salt water, so if you make fresh water salt water, then that changed it.
It will, but still they call it water.
Okay.
Salt water is still called water. But orange juice is not called water. You know, it's not called water because it's an orange juice. Although they add water to it, they may add, but you don't call someone at a restaurant, he brings you orange juice, he says, I brought you water. He doesn't say that.
No, yeah, I wasn't sure if we're just talking about the characteristic of the water, yani, not haram or halal or najis or anything. Are we just talking about the characteristic of the water, or are we implying that it becomes najis if we add like juice to the water?
It doesn't become najis, no.
Okay, just the characteristic.
No, it does not become najis. Still is tahir, but it cannot purify. It loses the power. Exactly.
Okay, use it for the, okay.
You can't use it wudu, neither you can remove the najasa.
Okay.
Because it is a mixed water. We will come to it. وَأَمَّا الْمَحْقُونَ, the second type of water, which is the retained, like in a pond, in a pool, in a tank, in a let's say sometimes it's a big container at home. They have these big containers, they put water in them. They use in the past. They didn't have, even they didn't have big tanks. Some container. فَمَا كَانَ مِنْهُ دُونَ الْكُرْ. What is kur? Kur has two descriptions here. Either the kur is about 400 kilo weight. 400 kilo, which is 1,200 ratl. So this is in today's weight, it is 400 kilo weight, or the size is a 3.5 times 3.5 times 3.5, meaning 3.5 length, 3.5 width, 3.5 depth.
3.5 what?
Shibr, span, shibr. Hand span. 3.5. So that makes almost 42 hand spans. So if the total of it is 42, 3.5 by 3.5 by 3.5, 3.5
meter?
No.
Hand spans. Oh, hand spans. Okay.
So 3.5 is 1, 2, 3, and this is a half from here up to here. This should be the depth, the width, and the length. That becomes kur. When it becomes kur, it's immune. Even if najasa, even if someone, let's say a boy, stand there and he urinates, it does not change it.
Really?
Yeah, kur becomes kur. It does not become najis, and it has the ability to, if you put najis in it, let's say this is najis, something is najis, your glasses are najis, you put it there in the water and you take it out, it becomes tahir.
Wow.
It does not come najis. Even if you drop blood, urine, stool, whatever in it, doesn't become.
So that would mean a pool?
A pool, small pool. And this is what they used to do in the old days. In the old days, they had this small house in the middle of the house. I remember in my house, they used to do everything, wash their clothing, do wudu. I remember time of Salah, they come and they do wudu. This is kur. Kur becomes immune against najasa.
Because I've seen in pools where it's like people bring dogs and the dog goes swimming in there, so then that means it's tahir.
Tahir,
You can
yes.
swim in there.
However, when the dog comes out and starts to, then if
The area around.
splashes on you, then it becomes
That's the minimum amount.
minimum amount.
So what about like some washers? They're smaller than that. If you wash the clothes.
No. The washer is different, Habibi, Dr. Ali. The washer is connected to running water. Running water. And the water keeps changing. It rained from this side, new water comes from that side. So they do the tahara, tathir, because it's connected to running. Unless the old washing machines where it's not connected, then that becomes problematic. So when you want to take it out, you have to wash it again. But if it is connected, as long as the water is coming from this side, going from the other side, passes through, then it becomes tahir, even if it is less than this, the size that I said. Okay? وأما المحقون, the retained, as to the retained water, فما كان منه دون الكر, if it is below كر, فإنه ينجس بملاقاة النجاسة. If it is less than what I said, then anything falls into it becomes najis. Anything najis, not anything najis. ويطهر, so how? Let's say the water evaporated and it became less than kur. How do we save it? In that case, بإلقاء كر عليه. You have to put water, the same amount of it. The same amount. A water with the quantity of kur. You drop it at once. I mean 400 kilo water, you drop at that, the existing one, then you make it tahir. Again, I'll say this, Dr. Ali. You have a pond, less than kur. Someone, let's say, a mouse was dropped there. You found it dead. So this water becomes what?
Najis.
Najis. Why it becomes najis?
Smaller than kur.
Less than kur. What do? Do we drain it, get rid of it? It says no. Take the knobs out if you can. Then bring another kur amount of water, drop it on this, it becomes tahir. Not, according to this author, not that you bring, cups slowly from somewhere and you add to it. In that case, it would not become. Even if it becomes more than kur. But this method does not work. It has to be at once. The amount that you dump on it, it has to be at once.
If you want to clean the other water.
If you want to clean the other water and save it, because it became najis. This is how you clean it, you purify it. وَمَا كَانَ مِنْهُ كُرًّا فَصَاعِدًا. But if the water is kur and above kur, لَا يَنْجُسْ. It would not become najis, whatever happens to it. Even if someone goes there and do number 2 inside it. Still, you can swim and do wudu while number 2 is there.
Wow, even if you see it.
And I have seen this in 40 years ago when we were kids. Yeah?
Oh.
Because it is kur, and kur becomes immune automatically. Okay? But if the najasa was so strong, this number 2 was so big and huge that it changes the color of the whole water. And the taste, if you dare to taste it after that, of the whole water, or the smell of the whole water, then it becomes najis because it overcomes the water.
Like diarrhea, for instance.
Don't go into details, Dr. Ali. Habibi. This is why I was avoiding Bab al-Taharat. I wanted to do marriage because...
I'm sure the audience is going to appreciate some.
Yeah. Say a question. How did they come up with the definition of kur with the 3.5?
This is something agreed upon from the time of our Imams. This description is from the time of hadith of our Imams. Now, if this poor water that, according to Dr. Ali, was diarrhea in it, becomes najis, of course, yeah, because the color has changed or the smell has changed. Is there any way to save it? They say yes. To dump on it another kur. If it didn't help, a second one. If it didn't help, a third one, until it becomes tahir.
And the only way, Said, you would know is either the change in taste, smell,
Yes.
or color.
Yeah. These things has to be removed, then we know that it became tahir. وَلَا يَطْهُرُ بِزَوَالِ التَّغْيِيرِ مِن نَفْسِهِ. He says if you leave it like that and you don't attempt to dump water on it, and then you go and you come back and you see there is no color, there is no smell, it is still najis. You have to treat it. It requires a treatment. Salam alaikum. Yes, yes. We will shut. Yes, yes. Yeah. Okay. وَلَا بِتَصْفِيقِ الرِّيَاحِ. Sometimes the blowing of the winds, if the winds are very strong, they clean the water. They clean the ponds or the pools. Still, that was not. You have to dump. Since it became najis, it cannot go back to tahara naturally. It needs human intervention. You dump water on it. وَلَا بِوُقُوعِ أَجْسَامٍ طَاهِرَةٍ فِيهِ تُزِيلُ عَنْهُ التَّغْيِيرِ. Let's say you can't put chlorine in it and then it becomes white again, it goes back to its natural color, or even the bad smell goes away. That is not a treatment. Treatment by water. What amount? Kur. You dump on it one time kur. If the color changes, if the color goes back to natural, no smell, no bad taste, one kur enough. If not, second kur. You keep dumping kurs until it goes back to its...
Swimming pool are not that tahir because the way they clean it is through chlor.
Swimming pool, Hajj Nadim, is more than 20 kurs. 50 kurs.
No, but
Nothing can change except
Something very big.
very big. An army comes to your house or 10 elephants. Otherwise they would not. However, sometimes there is algae in the summer, algae on the walls, in the bottom, that would not make it najis. We just mentioned that. Yeah. Even sometimes the color changes. If the color changes completely, let's say it becomes dark, still it is tahir, but it cannot be mutahhir. You cannot clean something with it, but the water is still tahir. Still tahir. But it cannot clean. Okay?
Said, what if the rain?
Yeah.
So if you have najis and rain on it, is that considered?
Rain, you mean to a pool that was najis?
Yeah.
The pool does not get najis. Let's say the kur. If the rain comes down, hard rain, so not small quantities, let's say hard rain, in the shape of pouring, then that would be sufficient. Yeah. But drops, drizzles,
Sprinkling.
no. Okay? Now, he says, in this size that we said applies to pools and ponds in the streets. Let's say in the street, especially Muslim countries where they don't, when there is rain, you see some of these, what they call them, where the kids, they go and play. They enjoy. Puddles. This puddle is so big, 3.5 spans depth, 3.5 width, 3.5 length, and filled with rain water. Okay? Then it becomes tahir. Then if someone, fall there, or an animal falls there, let's say, or blood or urine or any type of najasa, it does not become najis. If it is that size, okay? The size that we spoke about. Wal-hiyad, basins or bathrooms. See, my friends, in the past, they had very difficulty getting water to bathrooms. It was very difficult. It was not easy. There was no pipes and running water. So what would they do? That when you go to public bathroom, they have a pool or a basin or a tank. And people go there and they dip themselves and they come out. They do ghusl by dipping themselves. So sometimes you find 5, 6, 7 men, 10 men. I've seen this. They dip themselves and they get out of this hawd. They call it hawd, basin. Okay? This one also has the same ruling. If it is kur, it reaches the stage of kur, then it does not get najis. But if it becomes below kur, then it becomes najis. Okay? And the reservoir has the same reservoir. Okay? Wal awani, it could be not a reservoir, neither a basin, nor a tank, nor a bathroom, but a container in the middle of the house, in the middle of the kitchen. They have a container, but it has a kur. The amount of water in it is kur. So the ruling applies to it. Okay? وَأَمَّا الْبِئْرُ. My friends, bi'r we are not going to study because waste of time. Only the first line. فَإِنَّهُ يُنَجَّسُ بِتَغَيُّرِهِ بِالنَّجَاسَةِ إِجْمَاعًا. According to this author here, our author 700 years ago, he says whenever najasa falls down in the bi'r, the well, the bi'r becomes najis. However, those who came after him, those who came after Muhaqqaq al-Hilli, the author of this book, they say if najasa falls down in the well, it does not contaminate it. So it enjoys the same status like the what? Running water. The rest of that, how do we clean the well? I'm not going to spend time on that. So we'll come to after that. After the way we will jump maybe 2-3 paragraphs and we come to this. وَيُسْتَحَبُّ. It is recommended أن يكون بين البئر والبالوعة 5 أذرع. To separate the well, if you have a well at home, from the cesspool. Cesspool is the drainage, where the toilet goes there, like the septic tank today. It is mustahab that you separate between them with 5 ذراع, cubits. 5 cubits, the distance between them. Okay? إذا كانت الأرض صلبة, if the land was hard, or if the well was above the drainage or the cesspool, the well was above. However, if the land was soft or the cesspool is above the well, separate between them with 7 cubits, not 5. Now, do we automatically say that the well has been contaminated? Do we assume that if they are both together in one spot, next to each other, the well where we draw drinking water from it, and the cesspool where the toilet goes there, gathers there, do we assume that there is a connection between them and the bi'r becomes najis because they are next to each other? No, unless we make sure that there is leak from where? The septic to the well, not vice versa. The septic is leaking on the well. Then the well becomes, this used to be the ruling in the past because in every house they had a well. Now we don't have. This is why they don't study this.
In Lebanon,
They still have. Yes. Yeah.
Then we have
Yeah.
Jura.
Exactly.
Yeah, TV shows like in Syria, they had inside
In Syria.
Inside the house was that for.
When I lived in Syria, we had a well. And we used to pump it up
Right.
to the
Still, it's
to the tank, and we used to. But every day we had to turn on the pump 3-4 hours.
Here in the United States?
They still have it in the
Some
ranches.
remote,
In the ranches, yeah. The ranches, they don't have running water. They use the, yeah. وإذا حكم بنجاسة الماء لم يجوز استعماله في الطهارة مطلقا. This is a general ruling. Once we know this type of water is najis, we cannot use it to purify other items. Absolutely. We cannot use it. Neither we can use it in food, cooking means, or drinking, except عند الضرورة. When you are cut off from outside, the only water is this, and it is najis. In that case, you can use it for cooking or drinking. But if you have the option, you should not use it. ولو اشتبه الإناء النجس بالطاهر. You have 2 cups. You know one of them is najis, the other is طاهر, and you don't know, you are confused, then you are not allowed. وجب الامتناع منهما. You stay away from both of them. And if there is no water, only these 2 at the time of salat, you should not do wudu with these. You must do tayammum. However, if you are thirsty and if you are about to die, definitely you can drink. ضرورة, emergency. But you don't do wudu. Rather than doing wudu, you do tayammum. الطرف الثاني في المضاف. Can we stop here or we have to continue? وصلى الله وسلم على سيدنا محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين. اللهم